All right, folks, welcome back. Today I've got these right here. This is some 5.56 ammo. This is the M855A1. It's a military round from the United States that was adopted in 2010. As far as I know, this has made its way out, and this is kind of the standard issue 5.56 round. At least I think it is. So the 855A1 is meant to replace the original M855, which is the 62 grain green tips that you might be used to that have the steel penetrator inside. So copper jacket, lead core with a steel bit inside of there. These, however, are lead free. So base of your bullet, and I guess you'd call that a jacket, is copper, and then it's got this big old exposed steel penetrator on the tip there. They look pretty mean. So like I mentioned, these are lead free. I think that was a big point or a big goal in its development. Also, apparently the powder's a little more suitable for the shorter barrels. And I guess the original full metal jacket type construction, which I've got some of those bullets here. Here's this is an SS-109 bullet, kind of the green tip style bullet. And you can see it's got a closed tip and an open base, right? And then up in here toward the tip is the steel slug, the steel penetrator part in these guys. Well, this bullet for terminal performance relies on yaw to tumble and that sort of stuff. And apparently the new 855A1 does not rely on that for performance. So I guess this is a more consistent terminal performance. It's lead free. The powder and stuff is more appropriate for short barrels. And they say it's even more accurate. So that's what I want to focus on. This stuff is not available in the civilian market as far as I know. Now, luckily, one of my viewers had some of this laying around and sent me 62 pieces of it. And all across YouTube, you can find lots and lots of videos where people test the terminal performance and shoot ballistic gel and shoot barriers and all sorts of crap with this stuff. So I want to focus purely on accuracy. I want to shoot this stuff in several different guns and just get an idea of what sort of groups this stuff can shoot. So let's do that next. Let's introduce the three guns that I want to use to test this stuff. Then we'll get out on the range. We'll shoot a 10-shot group in each one and get an idea of whether these things will group. All right, let's start with the short barrel and we'll work our way longer. This is a Colt LE6920. Right now it's got a red dot on it, but whenever we're out on the range, I'm going to have a 24 power scope on each of the three guns. So this, except for the optic, is 100% stock Colt LE6920. Still with the original hand guards, the front sight post, all of this is totally stock. We've got an A2 flash hider on the front of it. So very standard stuff. This has got a 5.56 chamber and it has a 1-in-7 twist barrel. So this is the second upper. This is a Ballistic Advantage M4E1 upper receiver and handguard combination. So this gun and the next one are both going to be using this upper and handguard combo. The barrel in this first guy is an 18-inch White Oak Armament SPR barrel. This one has a rifle length gas system and it also has a 1-in-7 twist. This barrel is chambered in .223 Wild. So 2 inches longer than our Colt and a .223 Wild versus the 5.56 chamber that we saw in the Colt. Now the third upper, it's going to look very similar. This is a 20-inch barrel, also by White Oak Armament. So this 20-inch barrel has got a 1-in-8 twist. And it also has White Oak's own chambering that they call their Predator chamber. So I think that gives us some pretty good variety, right? We've got 16-inch barrel, 18-inch barrel, 20-inch barrel. We've got two 1-in-7 twist barrels and a 1-in-8. Should give us a pretty decent variety. Now with each one of these uppers, I did spend a little time beforehand making sure they were shooting properly. So I loaded up some hand loads with some 77 grain Sierra Match Kings, which are really good shooting bullets, some 55 grain Sierras, varmint bullets, and some 40 grain Nosler varmint bullets. Just wanted to get them tested and sighted in and whatnot. We can review those groups really quick, just so I can prove to you all of these guns shoot at least halfway decent. So on our shot marker, the 16-inch Colt with the 77 grain Sierra Match Kings, here they are right here. That was a 1.76-inch group, so not awesome. This is essentially like a Mark 262 Mod 1 clone. So not quite as good as I was hoping it might be, but then again, bone stock rifle, original barrel, what can you expect? So let's look at what the 16-inch gun did with the 55 grain Sierra There it is, 1.13 inch group. And last is the 40 grain Nosler. So a 10-shot group, 1.42 inches. So hopefully that gives you some idea of the capabilities of the Colt. If our M855A1 shoots an inch and a half group, that's a pretty good group for that gun. So let's move on to the 18-inch gun, which first I want to look at a 25-shot group we fired with the 77 grain Sierra Match King loads. So this is a 1.14 inch group, 25-shot group. And this guy right here, the 21st shot is the one that screwed it all up. So actually, if I hide that shot, you can see the other 24 shots went into 0.88 inches. This barrel, the 18-inch White Oak Armament SPR barrel, loves these 77 grain Sierra Match Kings. So really awesome performance. This upper will definitely shoot. Let's move on and look at the 55 grain Sierra. Where'd they go? There they are over here. This is another 10-shot group. That 10-shot group is 0.85 inches. Really good stuff. And here's the 18-incher with the 40 grain Nosler. So with the 40 grain Nosler, this is a 1.36 inch group. Not too good, but we lost this guy high. Let's hide it really quick. So the other 9 shots went into, 0.73 inches. So you can see this 18-inch barrel shoots awesome all the way across the weight range of bullets. Plus it's got the 1-in-7 twist. So like if we're going to shoot a good group with the 855A1, I'm thinking it'll be with the 18-incher. So okay, last but not least is the 20-inch gun. Here's its 10-shot group with the 77 grain Match Kings. Not awesome. 1.3 inch total group. If we get rid of number 9 there, it comes down to about 1.07 inches. This 20-inch barrel and the Predator chamber from White Oak just never did seem to really prefer the 77 grain bullets. So this is kind of what I'm used to seeing. So let's move on to the 20-inch gun with the 55 grain Sierras. There they are over here. That's a 0.72 inch group. Looking a lot better than the last one. If we hide this one over here, the best 4 shots went into 0.36 inches. So the 20-incher definitely preferred the 55 grain bullets. And here it is with the 40 grain bullets. That is a 10-shot group into 0.76 inches. So really good stuff. This number 1 kind of went out a little bit, but not that far. Yeah, that takes it down to a 0.51 inch group with the best 9 shots. So our 16-inch Colt, an inch to an inch and a half would be a great group. With the 18-incher and the 20-incher, we're looking for better than that, right? We want to see something under an inch. The guns are certainly capable of it, but there's really only one way to find out, and that's to get out on the range. Okay, so the first gun we're going to shoot is the Colt LE6920. Well, at least the upper is from the Colt LE6920. The lower is my standard test lower with the Magpul PRS stock and a nice trigger and all that stuff. So we're going to shoot this guy mainly for the better trigger, and it rides a bag a whole lot better. So the upper is bone stock, totally Colt. We've just got this Vortex Diamondback Tactical 6-24 by 50 scope on here. So that's the gun. Velocity's coming with our lab radar chronograph. The target is at 100 yards. We're using the Shot Marker electronic target system. So this gun does have a 16-inch barrel with a 1-in-7 twist. So let's start out with 5 shots in the magazine. We just shot a couple sighters and warm-up shots through this gun, so shouldn't have any cold bore issues or anything messing with our group. Let's see what happens. All right, first shot. Looks like our 0 is going to be pretty close. I was shooting at this dot right here. Move it over to the center a little bit. And let me see if I can find that piece of brass real quick. You know, a lot of 5.56 factory ammo is pretty darn hot and sometimes shows pressure signs. This looks totally fine. We'll have a closer look at it whenever we get back to the bench, but not even seeing an ejector mark or a smear or anything like that. So it looks pretty good. All right, let's shoot 4 more. And not too far off. I missed the first velocity, but the second one here was 29.90. Once we get done, we'll have a look at the average, see what it is. So far, 1.5 inch group. Okay, so let's see, was that 2.21 inches? Let's see what it looks like if we get rid of the second shot. So we can hide that here on shot marker. Yeah, these other four went into about 1.3 inches. Really wasn't sure what to expect here. So, you know, not exactly impressive. Let's check those other pieces of brass. Yeah, and these next four pieces of brass are the same. No crazy pressure signs, just looks like good brass. See what the velocity numbers look like. Yeah, so with these first 5 shots, our average velocity is at 2973, standard deviation 16.3, and extreme spread of 38, which is not terrible. Let's go ahead and load up 5 more and make this a 10-shot group. And actually, let me see if I can spot the feed ramps here real quick, just for the heck of it. Yeah, I don't see any like huge gouges or anything crazy going on here with the feed ramps. We'll have a closer look later. Okay, 5 more shots. Wow, that went way out to the left. Okay, so, I mean, I guess it's trying to kind of group there. So we ended up with a 2.98 inch group. Let's hide a couple of the, yeah, so like number 6 that was way out there, if we hide that guy, and maybe number 2. The rest of them, the other 8 went into 1.61 inches, which seems like it might be respectable. Because, I mean, I fully expect our next 2 guns to group better than this one, right? I mean, this was, yeah, I expect the others to do better. So let's see what our final velocity numbers look like. Okay, so our average velocity only moved 3 feet per second, so it's 2976 is the final number. Standard deviation 15.9 and extreme spread of 49. All right, so let me get switched out to the 18-inch gun, and hopefully these groups will improve. Okay, so this gun has got an 18-inch White Oak Armament SPR barrel. It's got a rifle-length gas system. This one is also a 1-in-7 twist. We are shooting with my Silencer Co. Omega suppressor. This has got a Vortex Viper PST scope on it right now, 6-24 by 50, and Aero Precision upper receiver and handguard, that sort of crap. So I expect quite a bit better performance out of this guy. I don't know. Now, we also shot a couple rounds through this gun to get it warmed up. Everything should be ready to go. Let's see what happens. All right, so that doesn't look too bad. Right at 1.5 inches so far. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So I chased down those first 5 pieces of brass, and just like the 16-inch gun, it all looks really good. Had one piece here that's got a bit of a shiny spot where the ejector was, but nothing serious at all. So let's go ahead and load up 5 more. Okay, here we go. All right. You know, I mean, let's be honest here. Not the world's greatest group, but still not too bad. 1.89 inches total. Let me get rid of that first one here. Let's hide it. The next 9 went into 1.48 inches. So, you know, that's about as good as I expected, I guess. Not too bad. Let's see what the velocity numbers looked like. All right, so our velocity average was 3,027 feet per second, which is 51 feet per second faster than the 16-inch barrel. Standard deviation 12.5, extreme spread 39, which is kind of in the ballpark of the last one. Total group 1.89 inches. Not too terrible. All right, one more upper to go. Let's get switched out to the 20-inch. Okay, so our third and final upper is the 20-inch White Oak Armament barrel. This is their Predator barrel with their Predator chamber. So yeah, not really sure what to expect here. This gun doesn't really shoot very well with the 77 grain Sierra Match King, which is one of my favorite bullets that shoots awesome in the 18-inch and shot really well in my old 18-inch. But something about this gun didn't seem to like it. But lighter bullets, shoots lights out. So not sure what to expect here with this 62 grainer. So let's see, same sort of deal. This is the Vortex Viper HS 6-24 by 50. Same silencer co suppressor, Omega suppressor. That's about it. I did warm it up with a couple shots here a second ago, so it should be good to go. Let's see what the group looks like. So this barrel does have a 1 in 8 twist. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, let's see if it groups. First velocity 3130. Wow. Okay. All right, she's pretty ugly. Tell you what, let's hide number 2 real quick and see where the other 4 went into. So yeah, 4 of them went into 1.63 inches, but total size there was 2.33 inches. Gross. All right, so checking out these first 5 pieces of brass. Nothing remarkable going on. They all look the same. I'm pretty surprised by that. Like, I expected these to be super duper hot and probably show pressure signs, and just not seeing it in any of the guns. Okay, let's take 5 more shots. Hopefully this group doesn't get any uglier. Gross. Well, let's see what our velocity looked like. Okay, velocity average was 3130. So we gained 103 feet per second over the 18-inch barrel. That's interesting. So we gained 51 feet per second from 16 to 18, and then we gained 103 from 18 to 20. Interesting. Standard deviation 14.7, extreme spread of 43, and a super gross, nasty looking 2.87 inch group. And it wasn't even trying to group, right? I mean, that's a freaking shotgun pattern, which maybe that's the 1 in 8 twist, right? 1 in 8 versus 1 in 7 twist. At least, I mean, even the LE 6920 with its 1 in 7 twist kind of seemed to be trying to group a little bit and just had, you know, several flyers. And then the 18-incher looked pretty good with just a couple flyers. So that leads me to believe maybe that's, you know, related to twist. I don't know. So I've been talking it over with Twitch chat. Been talking with them over what to do. Like, I don't think it's very productive. So we've got 32 rounds left. I don't want to just keep shooting 2.5 inch groups with it. So we've been trying to think up what to do, what we could do that would be interesting. And yeah, got some ideas. So I'll tell you what, let's get back to the bench. Let's talk about those ideas. Let's figure out a path forward. All right, let's start out with a quick review of the targets. So the 16-inch gun, our Colt, was just awful. It really wasn't trying to group. Number 7, 8, and 10 kind of went close to one another, but it wasn't really trying to group. Total group size of 2.98 inches. Even if we delete or hide some of the outliers, you know, the core group was still 1.61, or if we hide that guy, yeah, 1.59. Not very impressive. So let's move on to the 18-inch gun. A little bit better here, right? 1.89 inches. If we get rid of some of the edges, number 1 brings it down to a 1.48 inch group. Number 8 down there brings it down to a 1.15 inch group. So certainly better than the 16-incher, but not quite as good as I was personally hoping for. And the big surprise here was the 20-inch gun. Our 20-inch White Oak Armament barrel, just awful. Like, this was worse than the Colt. It was truly just spraying them all over the place. There's not really nothing we can hide here and call a flyer. I mean, it was just, they were all flying all over the place. So 2.87 inches, really, really bad. And I don't really know, like, I know it's a good barrel. I know it can shoot, but whether it's the 1 in 8 twist, which I've read about other people having success with 1 in 8 twist with these bullets. So I don't know if that was part of it, or the White Oak Predator chamber just not being a good match for this bullet. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. So I've shot 30 of these guys, which means I have 32 of them left, plus one more bullet that he had sent. And like I mentioned out on the range, I was talking with the guys on Twitch. trying to decide what to do. I don't want to just keep on shooting crappy groups with them. That seems like a waste. So what I'm thinking about doing is pulling all of these bullets and then reloading them using some other powders that I have a little bit more confidence in. And you know what, even beyond the bullets, like we could play around with the powder, we could play around with the primed cases as well. I do have some other 62 grain bullets. So maybe we could take the powder charge and then reload it with some other 62 grain bullets, and take these 62 grain bullets and load them up with some other various powders. You know, some of our favorite powders that we've maybe got a little bit more confidence in as far as shooting a good group. Something like AR Comp, maybe 8208 XBR, and maybe you guys have got some good recommendations. I think we'll do that in another video. I'll go ahead and post this just for the basic accuracy info, and then in the next video, we'll try to see if we can pull these without damaging them, and then see if we can use them as reloading components and come up with something that maybe shoots a little bit better. That seems like it might be fun. But I think for this video, I mean, that's about it. I think we'll wrap it up here. Disappointing but not surprising results. Another thing that gets brought up sometimes with these steel tips, they can apparently be very hard on the feed ramps, in your rifles. And so far, you know, I've only put 10 rounds through each of these uppers. I haven't noticed any problems whatsoever. I mean, I'm sure that's a thing. It gets brought up a lot, and that's apparently something that the military is dealing with since this round was adopted. But, you know, so far so good. No big gouges on my feed ramps or anything goofy like that. So velocities were about what I expected. 2976 with our 16-inch barrel, and then up to 3130 with our 20-inch barrel. I forgot to write it down, but I think I had seen somewhere that the spec was 2950 with the 14.5-inch barrel. I could be off on that a little bit, but I remember whenever I saw that, it made me think that our velocities, you know, did seem to fall in line pretty close to where they should be. So not much interesting there. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks for joining me. The next video on these will be up within just a couple days. I'm going to get started on this almost immediately. Our next video, though, that hits the channel is going to be a 6mm arc video, which I've already begun working on. So lots going on. All right, I'll see you guys next time.